Accomplice, the part normally played by Michael Keaney will be portrayed by his understudy, Paul Delgado. At this time, if you can turn off any devices that make any kind of noise, sound, so that they don't interrupt the performance. And finally, sit back, relax, and we sincerely hope you enjoy Accomplice. Thank you very much.
That's exactly how all those plays begin, isn't it? Dorping Mill, the renovated Moreland residence of Derek and Janet Taylor. It is appealing to what level of affluence the English upper class can now reasonably aspire. There is a stuttering of keys at the front door, and enters the man of the house. Faultlessly attired in the uniform of the city. Suavely handsome. He looks about expectantly, tosses his keys to the couch, then crosses left to the drinks table, right where he pours himself a stiff gin and tonic. Yes. About to drink. Oh, he reconsiders, holds the drink at eye level, and decides it is not quite stiff enough. Remedying this situation and taking satisfaction in a job well done, he takes an equally satisfying pull on the drink. So, let's have at it. Janet, I've been waxing eloquent out here for your benefit, and I shall be quite put out if you've not been listening.
You're 5 minutes early, Derek.
Oh, so sorry, darling. I had no idea there'd be so few train delays beyond Crawley. Imagine British Rail on schedule. Ooh, shakes your faith. And our local taxi was lying in wait for me at the station. So, despite our Jaguar being out of commission, je suis arrivé. I am arrived.
No need to explain, dear. It's a thrill to see you deviate, and I use the word in its most limited sense. To see you deviate 1/shard of a second from your regulated and punctual self. Sometimes I'd swear you're Swiss.
Come again.
No, not since our honeymoon, sweetie. But what I mean is you're like a damn chronometer, a walking giant Rolex.
More like Rolaids today, I'm afraid. The stomach again. At least I hope it's the stomach. You know how my indigestion loves to emanate all the symptoms of a heart attack. Try one? No. Could it be that I am how you spell relief?
No, not since our honeymoon, sweetie.
Fix you a drink.
Yes, what do we want?
Well, I can't recommend this, I'm afraid. It tastes like bathtub gin. Only someone's forgotten to throw the bathwater out. Are these generic spirits or what?
It's the tonic, it's diet, Schweppes Slimline.
Oh, well. Dear God in heaven, what can you expect?
Tonic is amazingly high in sugar.
That's not it. A gin and tonic is supposed to be bad for you. You know, it's absurd to make healthy versions of products that are patently damaging to your health. Come on, that is the point of all these things, isn't it? That you knowingly flirt with death? Diet tonic. High fiber chocolate mousse. New and improved Benson and Hedges may cause cancer, but they're amazingly low in cholesterol. How am I doing?
Quite well, as it happens.
Yes, I rather thought so myself. Well then, what time are John and Melinda due?
Oh, sometime after 7.
Up from London, are they?
No, as a matter of fact, John said they were in Brighton, something about a boat.
A boat? Good heavens, is he buying a boat now?
Don't know.
Boat? What was I just doing? Ah, yes, I was fixing you a drink.
I'll have a gin and tonic.
That's not your drink.
Oh, it's all the rage in Crawley.
Ah, well, you deserve whatsoever you desire there. The place looks absolutely smashing, by the by. Homes and Gardens ought to give you a bunch of blue ribbons.
Oh, to tie up my bonny brown hair.
Ah, I do love that song. Oh dear, what can the matter be, dear, dear? What can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Johnny so long at the... It will be good to see John, won't it?
Yes, it will.
And Melinda too. Attractive girl, Melinda.
Most men seem to think
A
so.
bit thin around the eyes and mouth, don't you think? A bit, slittish.
Sluttish.
Yes, well, that too. But slittish as well, as if her mouth had been drawn with a lipstick and a straight edge. But yes, sluttish as well. You know, I've never known an enterprising whore who did not possess those features.
And you've known a lot of enterprising whores, have you, Derek?
Still, it will be good to see John. You know, he's always gone by the afternoons.
Business or pleasure?
Oh, I'm quite certain he squeezes in his pleasure, no doubt there. But I can't argue with success. I mean, the man has increased our gross receipts 6 times over in the last year alone. So granted the tarted features of the lovely Melinda, still I am glad John finally decided to accept our invitation for the weekend. Odd, it took him so long, don't you think?
I don't think he much likes you, Derek.
No? I don't much like him either.
Well, fair is fair. You gave him the opportunity, the connections, the company name, the reputation.
All of which 4 years ago were about as bankable as amalgamated lint. This sharing of the wealth is no doubt galling for him, and we must stop fooling ourselves that he likes it. Youth at the helm has steered us into a snug harbor, and we must be grateful to Master John. I'm just grateful we have a chartered partnership. It's a lot more legally binding than a marriage these days.
John, what would happen if John died?
John died. Well, I suppose there would be a minor stir, a teacup of high finance, but we have enough accounts nailed down, thanks to John, that we'd get through it all right.
Well, who would control the company?
Oh, well, I'd keep my share. And the remaining 49% would go to John's estate, presumably the sainted Melinda. Yes, I rather fancy finding myself financially embedded, Melinda.
Oh, but take comfort, she's such an enterprising whore, darling.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Freshen your drink.
Not for me, darling. You go ahead, though.
All right. You know, that's another thing about those thrillers one sees. The people in them drink incessantly throughout. I mean, drink. If they weren't drinking all that much gin or brandy, if they weren't all colored water and cold tea, they would never be able to speak a single word of their dialogue. But you know, it would work the same way for you.
What, drinking?
No, what we were just discussing there. If I died, for example, you would gain control of the company. Mind you, such an exceedingly unfortunate event as my demise occurred.
It would certainly ruin my day.
My sternest advice would be to let John run things the way he likes. It is the way that I've worked, or rather haven't worked, and it's done wonders for us all.
The visionary quality of your leadership leaves us all totally whelmed. Yes, it's one of those words that rarely steps out without its prefix, like, full-fledged. You never hear of anything being just partially fledged, or, goal that is still mitigated.
You're not trying to make some point, are you, Dan?
It's called idle conversation, or my feeble attempt thereof. It's all the rage in Crawley. We must try it sometime.
No, I don't much like the sound of that at all.
No, you take more naturally to killing conversation, don't you, love? Remember when we met Princess Margaret, and all you could think of to ask her was if she had any brothers or sisters?
You do bring up a good point, though. I mean, what are we all going to say to one another? You and John and Melinda and myself? An entire weekend of conversation.
We could do a group reading of Beowulf.
Really?
Humor, Derek, or at least my last-ditch effort. You know, you baffle me. You're a lazy bugger. You pimp off your partner's efforts. You've never put in a genuine day's work in your life. You know absolutely nothing about your own business, and despite this, You're still a blinding bore.
Do you really think so?
You have no interest in art, for example.
I like a good movie.
You like a good movie. You think Glen Close is a bridge in Scotland. I mean, what interests you exactly? Well, we've obviously ruled out sex years ago. If you were a workaholic, that would be one thing, but you're not. You're the weighted end of a long pendulum, sweeping to the city and back, pausing only but frequently for a drink here, a drink there. Your reading matter confined to the Financial Times and other trade papers whose related information must surely be relevant to you since you avoid practicing any trade at all.
Evasion is my life's work, Janet. It requires painstaking preparation, attention to detail, and a small measure of research.
You're a lout.
Ah, as it happens, my loutishness has provided you quite an array of uncommon comforts.
I never said I was unhappy with the situation, just curious, that's all.
Yeah.
You know what I thought?
What's that, darling?
I think it would be nice if we had a fire.
Ooh, what? For the insurance?
I meant in the fireplace. It's holes in the side of the wall where all that ash accumulates. Now, why don't you go out and get some wood so that you won't have to later on when it's dark?
Good idea.
And I'll freshen your drink.
Ooh. Gas.
Oh dear, what can the matter be, dear? What can the matter be, oh dear? What can the matter be? He promised to buy me a bunch of balloons. He promised to buy me a bunch of balloons. Bunch of balloons. He promised to buy me a bunch of balloons.
And here we are.
There we are.
Where would you like me to put this wood?
Oh, the mind boggles. Perhaps you might place it in the fireplace where it would be most handy for burning purposes.
Grand idea.
There's a clever fellow. As a reward, your idea.
Oh.
Reward, there's your drink.
Ah, whiskey. Glenfiddich. And your drink was?
A gin and tonic, remember?
Ah, that's right. Oh dear, what can the
That's
matter be
right.
jolly so long at the fair? So,
You.
what do you say?
To what?
Shall we have a go at it?
Oh, what? Here?
Well, this is our own home, after all.
Yes, but right here.
Who's being less than impulsive now?
On the floor.
Standing up for all I care.
Derek, really, you want to try?
I thought about it while I was outside. The cold air does something to a man.
You feel up to it?
For as long as you like, provided I can sustain the endeavor.
I'll help with that.
Yes, quite so. What's it to be then? The Chow and Lai, the inscrutable Mao Zedong, perhaps the Shanghai insurrection.
Oh, whatever are you saying?
Any topic of conversation you like.
Conversation. Oh, God, I thought you meant sex.
We are married after all.
Of course, but what was all that about lie, tongue, insurrection?
Casual conversation of international politics. What did you think we were talking about?
Chinese perversions.
You're a sick woman, Janet.
I'll be better soon. Drink your drink.
Cheers.
Name your poison.
Oh!
Horrible stuff.
Oh. It's the Glenfiddich. Single malt scotch, an acquired taste. You like it.
If you say so, it doesn't quite taste right to me.
Oh, it's probably the way I made it.
Oh, darling, I know you have the capability of ruining a hard-boiled egg, but there really isn't all that much skill involved in the pouring of whiskey and soda over ice. Oh dear. You haven't been trying to make the ice again all by yourself? Have
No, darling.
you? Well, tell me, what do you do with the day these days? I mean, this place was supposed to be merely a weekend retreat, but since we took it, we never come down to London anymore. Oh, you're not having an affair with a local butcher, are you?
No.
Well, if you do, see if you can do something about that bacon he's been sending around to us. As a matter of fact, I should be thinking we'll be needing extra foodstuffs this weekend. Best give him a jingle right now.
Well, I've seen to all that.
And have you seen to John's Newcastle Ale? That's all he'll drink these days, you know. We'd best ring the off license and have him send around over a few bottles, just in case. You know how John gets when he doesn't have his... Where's the telephone?
What?
I said, where's the telephone?
That's sort of tricky.
Tricky to answer?
Yes.
I see. No, I'm afraid I don't see. I can imagine quite a few questions to which an answer could be tricky. For example, are you done boring your wife? Or are you having an affair with a local butcher? However, where's the telephone, somehow, to me at least, does not seem the sort of conundrum to which a rational response is all that bloody difficult. So, let us try this again, Janet, once more, if you please. Where's the telephone?
I've hidden it.
Ah, we progress! Hidden it. And why, Janet, have you hidden the telephone? Let me guess. Optimistically, is it so the tranquility of our oasis here in the moors would not be disturbed by the constant ringing of business calls for John?
No.
No! Then why have you hidden the telephone?
So that you can't call out.
So that I can't call out to who?
To a doctor?
Why would I need a doctor?
Because I've poisoned you. Yes,
What?
if you had a telephone, you might be able to call an ambulance.
Yes.
It might, probably not. But might get from Avenue to here in just enough time to get you to a hospital. And if they did, a very clever doctor who really knows the toxicology much better than the average receiving room internist from some pathetic third world country, might know the one antidote for what I put in your drink, and then you might not die. And we couldn't have that now, could we?
Johnny! Ah! Ah!
Oh my God, Derek!
Oh.
What's wrong with you, my sweetheart? Something in the lower intestinal tract. We do know there's something wrong with you even a bit lower than that, don't we? Is it about pain? A nasty pain? As nasty as the pain you've been? The pain in my ass? What shall I do? What shall I do? First, I think, I'll sing a little song. Oh dear, what can the matter be, dear, dear? What can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? You're not for long. That was a whiskey and soda, wasn't it, love? He promised to buy me a bunch of blueberries. Promised to buy me a bunch of blueberries. Feeling any better? No, I shouldn't think so. Promised to buy me a bunch of blueberries. And then after about 20 minutes or so, John, Melinda, is that you? Oh, thank God, something's happened to Derek. We were just chatting, having a nice conversation, and suddenly he clutched his chest. God, yes, we must, but our car's in the garage getting a new transmission. Well, no, it's 20 miles from here. We'll take your car. Oh, no, how far down the road? You walked all this way? Well, don't you think I'd call if I could? The phone's broken. We have no neighbours, that's why we bought the place. Well, what can we do? Oh, John, you run to the main road. Try to stop someone and bring them back here. Melinda and I will just... Do you know any first aid, Melinda? No, of course you don't, dear. Just hurry, John. Hurry. Melinda and I will just put this blanket over him and keep him warm. Yes. Not too chilly. There we are. Oh, well.
Wonderful. And what of my portrayal then?
A bit more humbug than was necessary.
Oh.
He's not that odious. We want to commit murder, darling, not character assassination.
Sorry, love. But keep in mind, you're just his marital partner. I have to deal with the bloody twat every day.
Poor dear.
You only get him in the evenings.
And they are such short evenings, unlike the equatorial length afternoons you give me. God, I love you, John.
Enough to kill for.
Twice over. Cigarette.
Ah! God in heaven, no, never again. Distilling all those cigarettes down to make your ingeniously lethal creme de nicotine has put me off them for life.
For life. Derek might appreciate that. It's a handy enough poison.
Bloody miraculous, if you ask me. The nicotine of 100 odd packs of players, distilled down to just a few bloody tablespoons, homemade, untraceable, emulating all the symptoms of a heart attack. And for someone like Derek, you'd be 4 packs a day, sort.
At old Jeremy's funeral, at St. Paul's, Derek asked to be seated in the smoking section.
Yes, he told me he tried to quit, but he just couldn't cope without that post-intercourse smoke.
Those 3 or 4 a year can be very special.
Let's not speak ill of the almost dead, my love. Tell me, when did you get the idea for nicotine as a poison?
I saw it in a play, a thriller. Really, you should go to the theatre more often, John. There's life in it yet.
Share a killing with someone you love.
Which reminds me, how is your Melinda?
Oh, I long ago ceased to keep track of my wife's whereabouts.
But whereabouts will Melinda be tomorrow at this point in the scenario?
Oh, well, she'll be leaving Scenic Presswick right about now, due to arrive at 8:23 in the PM, whereupon I shall pick her up in our brand spanking new Aston Martin, which shall develop a brand spanking new breakdown some 10 minutes of a walk from here. Whereupon Melinda and I shall walk here, only to discover that you are
I'm near hysterical and Derek near death. Ooh, it's so wonderful to have a handyman.
Handy.
At breaking things so they look like they've broken all by themselves.
I always knew I had a trade in me. No job too small, miss. Let's see. This last week I've sabotaged your Jaguar good and proper. It is still at the garage, isn't it?
Of course. The mechanic said he'd have a look at it first thing last Thursday. That should guarantee it stays there at least another week.
And now there's this. Dead.
The rest is silence. And, what about your car? How do you get it to stop exactly 10 minutes of a walk from here?
Dead easy. When I reach that row of yew trees off towards the tow bridge, I'll pull out the choke, causing the engine to flood, bringing my Aston Martin to a grinding halt.
Oh!
Raising the bonnet, I'll pull loose the wire, rendering my car absolutely
Absolutely.
Melinda and I shall leg it here, only to discover that you are in desperate need of help.
Yes. But of course your car will be out of commission.
While your Jag is in the interminable hands of the village mechanic.
Yes.
Your nearest neighbor is a good 15 minutes away.
Oh God, yes.
And your telephone is out of order.
Yes. But
What's happening?
let me play devil's advocate
What's
here.
happening?
You're going to run to the main road and try to stop someone. What if a car should come along?
I won't really try to stop
Don't
anyone,
stop.
Janet. I just seem to be enjoying my weekend constitutional.
Yes, John. Yes.
Derek and I will be, Derek will be dead by the time we arrive. So Janet, do relax.
Oh.
Oh. You're not getting cold feet, are you, love?
No, not in the least. Actually, I just like it done to have the company for ourselves and only ourselves for company.
Oh dear,
What can the matter be?
dear,
What can the matter be?
oh dear.
What can the matter be? Johnny, so long
Bloody what?
He promised to buy me a bunch of balloons. Oh! To turn my bum around it.
Curtain goes up in about 26 hours from
Wish me luck.
break his leg and his spine while you're at it. Goodness. not let him lay a hand on this body of yours. He's ready to take every last drop of his drink.
He never did before.
You best have another wipe down. At that telly table, I'm not quite sure what I touched.
It's not that odious. We want to commit murder, darling, not character assassination.
Sorry, love, but keep in mind, you're just his marital partner. I have to deal with the bloody twat every day.
Poor dear.
You only get him in the evenings.
And they are such short evenings.
It's not speaking of the almost dead, my love. Where did you get the idea